All right, so Angel Martinez of the Guardians has been struggling of late. He got off to a great start, was playing well early in the season. But for the last, month, Mike, roughly? Last 30 games?
Yeah, last 30 games. And, of course, these numbers were significantly worse before the 2 games he's played. Since I initially sent out this topic idea, he hit a home run on Monday.
That bad. I mean, it's not good,
an RBI
but it's not
yesterday. But compared to where he was earlier, his OPS was just shy of 900 earlier. He was playing like a player none of us really thought he had within him. So the question I wanted to ask, and once again, these numbers aren't terrible. He was sub 200 with a sub 600 OPS, literally 2 games before we updated this graphic. What version of Angel do you think the Guardians are going to get moving forward? The better version we saw earlier in the season, this version we've seen the last 30 games, or somewhere in the middle?
Well, I mean, with most players, you're going to get multiple versions of a player.
Sure.
I mean, there's not that many guys that are consistently good. Those guys are Hall of Famers. You know, and even those guys will have – you can't – if baseball is not your diehard sport, Jason, it's hard for people that are football and basketball first fans to – it's so different. LeBron James doesn't have a 3-week stretch where he's terrible.
Where he can't make a shot?
Yeah. Like, and even LeBron James is a bad one. Who's the all-star players will have a bad game. But for the most part, all-star players don't go a month where they're bad. It's just not the nature of the sport. Same thing in football, unless there's an injury. It's very rare.
Yeah.
Like a good quarterback, when Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow and these guys are healthy.
A bad game, sure.
Yeah, but they're not going to play bad for a month. It's rare. It happens, but it's rare. In baseball, even Shohei Ohtani will have a bad month. Not many, but he'll do it. And he'll certainly have a bad week or two.
Yeah.
Even the best players. Aaron Judge will go 3 weeks without hitting a home run, where he strikes out 1,000,000 times. And everybody's like, man, he stinks right now. So certainly the players below them, a guy like Angel Martinez, who's trying to establish himself in the majors, there's going to be stretches where he's sizzling and going to be stretches. You'd rather a player like this just be solid the whole season.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work that way. Most guys, you get a few weeks they're hot, a few weeks cold. I actually think, and I know Mike said, okay, well, the last 2 weeks have raised last 2 days raised his overall numbers. But go back to his 30-day bad stretch, Mike.
This is his 30-day.
If that's your 30-day bad stretch, that's fine. That's fine. You hit 5 home runs in 30 games, that means you're on pace to hit over 30 home runs in a season. You're on pace to have 100 ribbies in a season, even with those numbers, which is his bad month. If that's your bad month, that's fine.
Well, where he needs to help himself is his walk rate. He's got to walk more. But
it's going to be hard.
But
he's got to improve.
He's walked 7 times this year.
Yeah.
In 230
he's a young player,
appearances.
No.
But it's been trending in the wrong direction. He's not getting better. He's getting worse in terms of walks. And his walk rate right now is like 3%, which is abysmal. And the major league average is like 9.5, 8.5 to 9.5.
If he could get to 6 or 7, I'd take it.
Yeah, I mean that's if he got to. I mean, if he added 20 more walks this year, how much different do those numbers look? If those ground outs or strikeouts or whatever are now converted into walks.
Well, what has he got in terms of home runs? 10? Was he get 10 or 11?
This season?
Yeah.
He's at 10.
If he hits 25, 30 home runs, I'm not saying he's going to, but if he does, okay,
But I'm just saying, if you're not walking, you're really operating without a net.
Yes,
and you're going
that's true.
And you're going to be prone to more stretches
where you struggle
that look hideous.
Yeah,
because at least if you can walk and get on base, you can help the team. But if you're just striking out or grounding out or whatever, if you're walking 7 times in 230 plate appearances, I couldn't believe he walked yesterday.
Yeah, it was a stunner.
Yeah, you really have to miss. So he's just.
It's a tough thing for young hitters that are wild swingers that swing at everything to adjust. It's a big adjustment. It's obviously the part of his game he needs to work on. I will say, with both, and I know Jay is very prisoner of the moment sometimes. Like in the beginning of the year.
The thing he said Monday was crazy.
I mean, what did he say?
Well, first of all, in the beginning of the year, he bet someone upstairs that Chase DeLauder would have 15 home runs by the 50-game mark. Because he had 5 in the first 4 games.
And he still isn't at 15.
And he's only at 7 or 8.
Because he has 7 home runs this
year.
year.
So he hasn't hit a lot of home runs. But then the other day he goes, I think he's only going to be a 15 home run hitter for his career. That guy's not a 15 home run hitter.
No.
Now, I can't say for sure he's going to be a big-time power hitter, but I'm confident that even if it doesn't happen this year, if Chase DeLauder will be a 25-30 home run guy.
Totally agree.
He's a young hitter. And Jay knows this, so I didn't understand what he was doing. Young hitters go through slumps, no matter how talented they are. And they go through slumps, and he'll have another stretch. It'll come up soon, I promise you, where he'll hit 4 or 5 home runs in a week or so. And then all of a sudden, by the time we get to the All-Star break, he's got 16 home runs, and you're like, maybe he's going to hit 30.
And speaking of DeLauder real quick, we could have done the same kind of conversation for him because in his last 30 days, he's hitting 196 with a 494 OPS.
Yeah, he's been awful.
Yeah.
He's been awful.
Which goes to your point that people go through these ebbs and flows in the season, especially young hitters.
Yeah.
And it's not worth – and once again, I asked this question. My answer was somewhere in the middle. But you see with all these guys.
Right.
There's peaks, there's valleys. Jose started slow.
Yeah.
He's been red hot. Manzardo had a horrible April since the calendar slipped to May. He's hitting almost 300.
I think
it just goes up and down all year.
I think if you look at where Chase DeLauder and Angel Martinez are overall for the season, you have to be happy with where they are, even though you don't love how they're playing right now, especially Chase DeLauder. But it'll turn around again for both of them. I'm confident in that, especially DeLauder. But by the way, remember, it still has been since 2012. Michael Brantley. 2012. The last time a Guardians player hit 20 home runs, last time a Guardians outfielder hit 20 home runs. And I think both Chase DeLauder and Angel Martinez will get there this year. I believe that.
That's outrageous.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that it's been that
It's not like if I had said 40, maybe 30, you'd be like, all right, 20 is not a lot.
The Giants have that going on too, but they play in a hard ballpark. Bonds is the last one. I forget now what the stat is.
To hit 20?
I might be 30. It might be 30.
I mean, there are teams that get 3 outfielders a year that get 20.
Yeah.
So it's a crazy stat, but it will get broken. I'm confident this year. I think by both. If not this year, then next year, but it's coming. But, the last player who did it is retired.
That is, when you put it like that, that is
it wasn't like he was old when he did it. How old was Michael Brantley in 2012? I mean, he wasn't young, but he wasn't old.
He was probably late 20s in 2012, was he not?
Michael Brantley's 39 years old.
Yeah.
So he was
in his mid-20s.
Yeah.
26. 25.
He was born in 87. What year did he do it? 2012?
2012.
So
25.
25.
Early in his
career.
That's crazy.
I mean, double check to make sure I'm right about that. Maybe it's 2014. Maybe I screwed up. Maybe it's 2014. Look at when the last time he hit 20 home runs for the Guardians, for the Indians at the time.
Michael Brantley hit 20 home runs.
I know he's the last.
It was 2014.
Oh, so it's 14. My bad. So 20. Still, that's 12 years.
12 years.
He was 27 in the prime of his career.
He was 27. He finished third in MVP voting that year.
He was great. Mm-hmm. That's a guy, like, when you think about, and he's obviously not a Hall of Famer, but he's one of those guys that, like, guy was an excellent player.
Yeah.
Like an all-star caliber player, the Hall of Very Good. Mm-hmm. You know, he was a tremendous player here.
Injuries sort of
injuries, and then that's why he ended up in Houston, where he was good for a few
really
years.
Good there in Houston. Yep. World Series.
But like the Guardians, they've had before him, they had Shin-Soo Choo, who was really good. That's obviously Grady Sizemore, destroyed by injuries too. Those were some really good outfielders there for a while.
True or false?
Yeah.
Michael Brantley never had a season with 100 RBIs.
True.
That's true.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, 97 was the most.
Well, he wasn't a big home run hitter.
No, 22 was the most he ever had in 2019.
Yeah, I mean, he was
just a great player.
He was a better version of what Kwan's been the last few years, with like more power.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and higher average. I mean, Brantley was a 300 hitter.
What was Brantley's career average with the Guardians, with the Indians?
with Cleveland was 295, and it
Yeah.
was 305 with Houston, 298 for his career.
That's impressive.
Pretty good, man.
Especially in this day and age, to have a 298 career batting average.
Yeah, just a great hitter, just a pure hitter.
Wasn't as good defensively as Quan is,
Yeah,
but he was
yeah.
left fielder.
He was serviceable.
He was fine. He was fine. Yeah,
The worst
adequate.
Brantley ever hit average-wise in a season where he played significant games.
Yeah.
It's 266. Was the worst.
Now he'd be in the top. That would be top 10 in batting. Probably.
Basically, yeah.